Hi friends, Chandrasekhar here again, and now we are entering the fifth in the series of interpretation of Vimshottari Dasha. We have already seen the basics and the parameters and other things. So this will be the fifth in the series, and now we have already understood that Kendra Lord and Trikona Lord coming together give rise to some yoga, so something good can happen when during their dashas. Whenever we talk something good is happening, that generally happens in the dashas, the mahadashas of the planet concerned, one which is treated to be capable of giving yoga. That is why it is called as yoga karaka. Karotiti karakaha, that which causes something to be done is called the karaka. So when we call yoga karaka, yoga of course does mean coming together of two things, but in astrology when we say good yoga is happening, we generally refer to the good yogas, the yogas which can result into something good happening to the jataka. Of course there will be arishta yogas, the bad yogas, but generally when we only say yoga, it has the connotation of giving good results to the jataka. Jataka is one born. I may be repeating sometimes the same phrases, but it is just for people who join later on, might not have heard the earlier lectures, so you will have to excuse me on that count. Okay, so now we go one step ahead. We have also seen that if they are connected with each other, the other grahas, even if not connected, if they are functionally benefic, can give good results. Also, we have seen that if they are connected, they give even better results, and so on. Now we go to specific lords, which is called the Dharma karmadhipati yoga, the combination of Lord of the 9th and Lord of the 10th coming together. And when is it good? It will be best if it is occupying either the 10th or the 9th bhava, or the exchange houses, or they are placed in own bhava. That is when they have got the maximum strength. What does it indicate is generally these people set their own rules. It is pretty powerful yoga, because most powerful of the Kendra with most powerful of the trines. Okay. Now having understood this, we go another step ahead. What happens when Kendra and Kona Lord are together? If they are with some other planet, not connected in any way, not being a trine Lord, it would still give good results. We have already seen. Now if this other planet which is with them also happens to be a trine Lord, obviously it will be Vishesh. It will be even more powerful yoga. When if it is placed in trine or square, it will be extremely powerful yoga. Please remember that when it will manifest, it doesn't manifest throughout the life. It manifests once and you get the results throughout the life. And these yogas always manifest during the dashas. When we call dashas, it is generally assumed to be only Mahadasha. My dear friend, please be informed that no, it is not only Mahadasha, it can happen in the Antardasha of the Grahas, the Pratyanta Dasha of the Grahas, because finally there has to be something else, some we can say trigger, which is provided by the transits for everything to fall into place and we to get the correct results. Okay. Then we go to the next stage. If a functional malefic also comes and joins these yoga karaka planet, what happens? Even they will give good results in their own dashas. Also in the dasha of the yoga karaka planets. Actually what happens is they are capable of giving results of the planets which are yoga karaka even within their own dasha. Will it always happen? No, of course not. So we have again to apply your mind, and you will also understand why I insist that along with the mahadashas, transits and the natal chart must be applied. When all three come together, the actual result will come. Otherwise what will happen is we will all go odd. We will think that if 8 planets are together, because more than 8 cannot be together, Ketu or Rahu always being on the opposite side. And so all the dashas should be fine. It doesn't happen like that. Please try to understand all these things. So natal chart is also very important. Now, shall we go one step ahead? Because what has happened is, till now we are talking, whenever we talk about planets or Kendra lords or trine lords, these are the physical body planets. We have seen why Rahu and Ketu cannot give their results when we say Bimba Bhava Acha. not having Bimba, the disk or the luminous disk, they cannot give own results till they get some other bhava to express himself, some other planet or bhava lord to express themselves. That we have seen when we say yadyat bhavagato vapi yadyat bhavesha sanyuto, isn't it? So those the results of those planets are given more prominently by the tamograhas. The tamograhas are the dark planets, meaning Rahu and Ketu. So now what is happening is, what happens when, say, Rahu or Ketu occupy a trine? The question is, will they give results of a trine lord? Will they become yoga karaka by themselves if they are in Kendra? These questions must arise in the mind of a student of astrology. Because we know that they will give results of survival. What sort of result will they give? Obviously, if they are in trine, they will give results of the trine lord, and we have seen that trine lord, if not afflicted by anybody, or if he doesn't own any other house, will certainly give good results. We have seen in the case of sun and moon, they will give results of very good results if they are trine lord or even lord of Kendra, because then they become as if lord of trine and Kendra together. Similarly, Rahu or Ketu in trines will give good results of the trines, which are always sure. So they will give actually good results if they are placed in trine, but they have got something else which we will come to when we start interpreting the charts. But there, because they are not saying that they give results of the Bhava Lord, so they will also give results of the other Rashi owned by the Bhava Lord. We have to understand all these things, because that is one thing people generally think, that even the other Rashi's results the Tamograha will give. Oh, I'm sorry to disappoint, it doesn't go that way. And you will find it when you apply all these principles to real life chart, as I always enjoin upon you to do, so that you understand it in depth and you can find out the different flavors, how they work out. So having said that, suppose he is sitting in Kendra, then what happens? He gives results of the Kendra Lord. Are Kendra Lords always good or bad? So malefics are good if Kendra Lord, but not when occupying the Kendra. Benefics are good when they occupy the Kendra. So obviously, if they are sitting in a house represented by a benefic planet or conjunct with a benefic planet who happens to be Kendra Lord, then they can give good results. Does it mean they will give bad results if they occupy house of a functionally, rather naturally cruel, the malefic planet? I would think not. They would still be able to deliver some results of the 10th bhava or the 4th bhava or the lagna or the 7th bhava. These are all kendras, as you know. But they would not be able to give it with that much of intensity. There would be something negative coming there. Okay. Now the third scenario is, what happens if Rahu, say, is sitting in a Kendra along with Lord of the, he is sitting suppose in the 10th house with Lord of the 5th house, also occupying the 10th house. In that case, they can give rise to Raja Yoga. Remember that this is a powerful yoga. Why? Because Rahu will be acting like the Kendra Lord and a trine Lord Rahu. Now we get here the classic Kendra karmadhipati yoga. More so if it is in the 10th house, very powerful. In other houses also he will be powerful, but lesser depending on the Kendra that he owns. What happens when he goes to a trine? I am talking about Rahu, that applies also to Ketu. Please remember this. Don't make any confusion here, because that happens many times that I am talking about Rahu, so Ketu may be acting in it. No, all the tamograhas, they draw their energy from other planets. So whenever we talk about this thing, we have to remember that they will always be, whether you talk about Rahu or Ketu, in certain cases when position of Rahu and Ketu in different bhavas are concerned, the results will be different. That we have already seen in the earlier lectures, when we talk about one planet occupying different bhavas. there their nature will come in. Here we are talking about the dasha and effects during the dasha. The planets don't change their nature, but yeah, the effects in the dashas differ. Okay. So if he is occupying, say, a trine, say, 5th house also, why always we go for the 9th and 10th, the best one, the 5th house, which is a trine, and a Kendra Lord joins him. Still it will cause a powerful Raja Yoga. That is what is told by the sages, and you will also experience that happening. Will it change the nature of the Jataka? That is a different issue. That depends on the placement of the lords or the tamograha, and we have already dealt with it when we were talking about the position of a planet in a natal chart. So please remember all these things. What happens when say these planets occupy the Kendra, the Lagna? Even then the same thing will happen. If two trines join them, trine lords join them, it will be even more powerful Raja Yoga. Also remember that some have opined that the malefics, the nodes, the tamograhas, Rahu and Ketu, if they are in Kendra, they are even otherwise capable of giving good results. Some say that Rahu in the 7th causes powerful Raja Yoga. Of course, when you look at the natural zodiac, you will understand the reason why it would be giving powerful Raja Yoga. But I will not delve into that because too much information many a times makes us reach exactly the wrong conclusion when we talk about Dasha. So from all these things, what have we come to understand? We understand many things. That Lord of the Second, though he may be Maraka, he will still give some results. He might give good results in case of the second bhava. Rather, he will give results related to second bhava because he owns the second bhava. This has to be primarily understood. Then if in transit there is aspect of a benefic on the second bhava, obviously some accumulated wealth is coming or some wealth is going to be accumulated or honor is coming your way. So, at that time, if his dasha is there, it would not turn into something bad. It might be actually, it might give you the wealth, accumulated wealth at that time. So this has also to be understood, because what happens is we say Maraka, then we say he is always a Maraka, he is always bad. No, in 7th bhava, if marriage is there, 7th Lord dasha will also have some meaning. Where it will have the meaning. Now here we have to understand that whenever one thing is told at one place, the sages were not in the habit of telling it again and again and again. So when we talk about Mahadasha or Dasha as it is commonly called, it also includes Antardasha, it also includes results at the level of Pratyantar Dasha, the results at the level of Sukshma Dasha, the Prana Dasha and the Deha Dasha. Please don't confuse here. Another great principle which is to be understood is, if a planet is functionally benefic, then he will not give the same results in his own Antardasha. This is something which is known to almost all of you, but many a times not applied. So if he is functionally benefic in his own dasha and in his own Antardasha, the results will be reverse. So they will not be good. Will they be bad? Not necessarily. That depends on the aspects of that bhava at the time which we are talking about. Same happens at Sukshma Dasha level. So, what happens? This is the law of contrary, and we have to understand it well and in depth so that we can come to a much better conclusion about what is likely to be happen during that particular dasha with a particular transit and all that. I will try to explain that in some lectures which I will give later on, but in such a short time it is really difficult to tell, but I will still try to do that. Maybe some people have suggested to me that I should use an example chart so that they understand well. I will try to find out ways to introduce it, insert it here when I am talking, and then how to talk about it, that I will have to work out. You please bear with me till that time. But what happens here? See, now we understand this is the point which is perhaps the least understood or overlooked perhaps. I would not say least understood, everybody has understanding, but overlooked. See, if Mahadasha is good, I mean of a functional benefic, then its own Antardasha within its own Mahadasha, not other Mahadasha, within its own Mahadasha. That is the first time, that is what happens. First Dasha is always his own Antardasha. It will give you the contrary results, so negative results. Okay, what happens if his Sukshma Dasha is also there? Pratyanta Dasha, extremely sorry, is there, because at the beginning of the any Dasha, all these will be of the same planets. Okay, so Mahadasha of the planet, in the Antardasha, first Pratyanta Dasha will be of the same planet. Makes sense? Here again the reversal takes place. So in the Pratyanta Dasha, the results will be good. Again, back to normal. What happens in the Sukshma Dasha, which follows the Pratyanta Dasha? Again the reversal takes place. So as in the case of the Antardasha, results of the Sukshma Dasha will also be not good. If the Mahadasha Lord is himself a functional benefic planet. And we are talking about his own Antardashas, his own Pratyanta Dashas, his own Sukshma. Now you can go on like that till Dehadasha level. Every time two successive things come, the result gets result. If both are of the same planet. This applies throughout. If he is a malefic, naturally within his Antardasha he will give good results. In his Pratyanta Dasha he will not give good results. Then in his Sukshma Dasha, good results. In Prana Dasha, not good results. In Deha Dasha, again good results. So you have to go on jumbling with it and try to understand what is happening. Sometimes even while speaking I may make mistakes, so you have to bear with me. And this is how it goes. This also happens, suppose Mahadasha of X planet is there, within that there is an Antardasha of Y planet who is functionally say malefic. Within that the Pratyanta Dasha of that particular, that functionally malefic planet will again give good results. So these complex things you have to understand. You can work out every time two successive dashas are of the same graha, successive levels are of the same graha, the results will be reverse of what is expected of it. The third one joining, again being his own, will again reverse the result, going it to the first level, the same as what is expected of him. And the fourth one reverse, fifth one again original, and so on and so forth. It goes on till Dehadasha level. If you want to split Dehadasha, you can split it. Sometimes for joke's sake, I have told you earlier, I do it and call it Chandrasekhar Dasha, but there is nothing like Chandrasekhar Dasha. It is just it is how this is worked out. They don't have to tell you again and again that you can still further split it and still further split it, but that should be done only if the time is pretty accurate, you are certain about it. After having experimented with it or predicted at various levels, even in hours, and every time it comes correct, then you can assume that it's correct. You will find that at the level of Dehadasha or even Sukshma Dasha, even a second for a difference in birth time will change it to 3 or 4 levels. I mean, through 3 or 4 days, the operating Dasha planet would be absolutely changed. So don't experiment with it till you get the what I can call the expertise, or rather the experience, to be certain that what you are trying to tell is likely to happen. So my friends, it is about 19 minutes, and I think the last lecture, the next lecture would be perhaps be last. I am not sure, because there are so many things to be told, and as I remember, I go on telling them again and again sometimes, so I may be repeating myself, but you have to bear with me. And I think in the next lecture I will be telling you how to find out if even a malefic dasha might be good for certain time, and what are the parameters that sages have given us. These are all tools which have been given to us. Now how we use it? We use it with using our viveka, the sense of proportion. So please do not predict somebody getting married because Jupiter Dasha is there. That is what I have seen many astrologers doing, or because Jupiter has, they would say not only Jupiter is the 7th lord, the Dasha is of Jupiter, and Jupiter is also aspect the 7th bhava. But please understand that if at that time the age of the girl or the boy is 10 or 12, it is not going to happen, at least not in our society. Legally it is prohibited. In certain places or certain cultures, if it is legally allowed, that is possible. So there the Desha, Kala and Patra thing kicks in. The country, the times we are talking about in, because even in India it was earlier at 10 years of age, sometimes girls used to get married. In those times we could have said that this is likely to happen, but not now. Okay? And in certain areas, in certain religions or certain subsects of religions, that might be still happening, and it might be legal in certain countries. So you will always have to think that, and that individual also, because how that individual thinks, not necessarily that because something is legal in a country, particular person or his family will also think like that. They may not like to do that. So my friends, I take your leave, and I don't want to bore you again, and do give me your feedback about what more you would like to know about Dasha. In the next lecture I will try to incorporate whatever I can. I hope the next lecture will be the last one in Dasha, or it might even go ahead. I am not very sure, because so many things are yet to be told. But I am trying to give the most important things which will help you analyze and come to a near right prediction or timing of events. So my friends, thank you very much.